Hello friends, today we are here to talk about that how we started our English learning journey and what are the things that can help us to improve our communication skill. So first of all, we will talk about the language competency, and then we will talk about that how communication skill is different from language competency. So I have my friend Vishwajit here.
Hello.
And I met him few years back in a coaching where I was practicing English communication, and I found him very fluent because that time he was speaking fluently, and we met after a long time, so we thought we need to make a video, and that's why we are here. So topic is the communication and our methods to improve the English communication, because what happens that maybe different people have their different methods to improve their English communication, and so that's why it is very important to know that what is his method and what is my method, because something can be different, but there are few things that is common. So let's see that what comes out of our conversation. So yes, Vishwajit. So now you tell me that as far as you can remember, when did you start your English learning journey?
See, I took admission on 5th of October 2015, and from that time I started learning English. I tried so much, I worked hard, I did so much hard work, and now the result is in front of you, and they all can see how I'm able to speak and how much fluency is there, as you told about my fluency. So I cannot tell how much fluent I am, but as per your knowledge, I think that yes, really fluency is there, and I feel that yes, at this time I'm also teaching in a school and in others coaching. So I think that I feel that yes, I have some knowledge, and the main thing is that, as you told, how I started my journey. So I took admission. I learned one thing that is very important, that no matter which language you want to learn, if we are going to learn any another language like Bengali, so the most important thing is that we have to speak.
Right.
We have to speak that language. So English is a language, and it is an international language, and there are so many benefits of learning English. If we have a capability to speak English, we can survive our life anywhere, even in abroad, even in our own country.
I usually get this question that how can we increase our vocab, because if you want to express yourself comfortably in any language, then it is very important to have the enough vocab, and that gives you the flexibility to express whatever you want to express. Okay, so what was your method to increase your vocab?
I would like to explain it with some example, so I will be able to elaborate it properly. First of all, we should take care that what we have to do actually. Actually, there are different words, means there are mechanical words, there are biological words, scientific words are different, and speaking words are totally different. So we should think, if we have to teach somewhere or we have to present ourselves in front of someone, so we have to increase our vocabs in that condition, according to that need. And one thing I know, that we should always read newspaper, and newspapers always give us that words which is always in trend, and we can increase our vocabs from that. And after learning vocabs, there is a very important need that we should use that words. Then only we can remember it. Suppose I am learning any words, any word. Today I learned it. After 2 days, after 3 days, it can happen that I will not forget. But if I will not use that word continuously, after 20 days, after 30 days, surely I will forget.
That's true.
And if in middle I am using that word, after 2 days, after 3 days, if I am using that words, so surely there is a probability that surely I will not forget that word. Yes.
Okay. So next question is that, have you ever felt that you are not getting enough practice, and if you had got the practice, then you would have attained the different level. So have you ever faced the trouble because you are not getting the right kind of practice?
Yeah, so many times. Actually, once upon a time I was sitting in my coaching in person English. So there were so many. There were the one student was from Delhi public school, and Second one was, I don't know his school, from which school he was belonging, but he was learning English means before 2 to 3 years. So he was very good, and that day I realized very embarrassed. I felt very embarrassed. I was very embarrassed that I am not able to speak English like them. I was feeling very bad. That day I went at the home of my friend. I told him that we will now always talk in English. So that thing did not happen. But one thing I did, whatever, actually our mind is never blank. We always think something. So I did one thing, whatever the thoughts were coming in my mind, I was translating that words in English. And from that words, I got so much improvement. And from that thing, I started thinking in English. And we are able to speak Hindi very fluently because we can think in English. As per my experience.
So yes, that is the best thing to improve your English communication, because what happens that sometimes we always complain that we are not getting the proper environment or that conducive environment, and that's why we are not able to practice. And if you get the practice, then our fluency can improve. But the most important thing is that most of the time we are talking in our head. And if you want to do any work, then first of all you have to give command to yourself, and only then your body moves, right? Yes. It means that every time you are talking to yourself. And important thing is that if you are a beginner, if you are trying to learn this language, and the moment you take decision that now I'll give this command in English language. So now if you are giving command yourself, maybe you're forming the wrong sentences, but you understand it.
Yes,
maybe your English is bad, but still you understand it. But good thing is that we all have some sort of English words or some rules and concepts. We already know that. But the problem is that we are not using it, and that's why we know it, still we are not able to make the most of it.
Yes.
So you can do one thing, that you can talk to yourself in English language, you can give command to yourself, and even if you are committing a mistake, even if you are using the wrong sentences, you understand it. But the good thing is that you are using your words, you are using your concepts. And we have an autocorrect system. Autocorrect system means that we are studying the textbook in English, we are trying to get the news in English. So in our mind, we are actually recording all those sentence formation and all those words. And the moment you start using it, you start using all those words that is retained in your mind, that is already stored in your mind. And that's only one way to get this environment, and that is talk to yourself. These days we have the technology, like we have the cell phone. If you have a little bit more money, then you can purchase some cheap camera also. And by using this, you can talk to yourself. And the good thing is that after recording, you can go through the video and you can get the honest feedback.
See, one thing I would like to tell you that I would like to explain it. When I started learning English, I was not having even any keypad phone. Okay. Later, I got from my uncle one keypad phone, and someone stole that phone. It was stolen. After some days, I told to my father I want phone. My father bought me phone. That time I bought smartphones, and he gave me that phone. I started using. When I took phone, after some days when I started studying, so I was searching so many things in phone. I was using dictionary. Actually, book dictionary can also be used. But in that dictionary, actually, when we will, that is a very time-taking process. Book dictionary is a time-taking process. But your phone will tell each and everything directly. And if the dictionary is good, it will also tell you how many similar words are there. So these things, really smartphones and these all the things gadgets are very important. It matters that how much in a good way we are using actually. If we are using in a good way, so it will help. See, I have learned so many things through phone, from internet. So I think that yes, gadgets are very important. It plays a very important role in our life. It matters a lot that how much we are able to understand and how much we are regular with that.
It was the year 2008 when I decided that I'll have to learn how to speak English. So I went to Varanasi. I took admission in a coaching, and it was the year 2008, so internet mobile was really costly, which was not possible for me to afford. So I was doing one thing, that I purchased the Oxford dictionary. I put the dictionary on my bed, and then I had the newspaper, and I had two copy, like one rough copy and one fair copy. So when I was reading the newspaper, I was marking it, that how many words I don't understand. So I was underlining all the unknown words, and after I finished the newspaper, then I used to see all the words. I used to search all the words in the Oxford dictionary, which was a very tiring work, because if you have searched one word in Oxford dictionary, then it was a big deal. But I used to search around 50 words every day, and then after writing it, I was writing all the words in my rough copy. And I was doing it because I know that if I write more,
I think there will be nearly 50,000 words in your mind, word meanings, vocabs.
more than that.
Great.
So I was learning 50 words, and then I was writing it two times. First time in rough copy, and second time in fair copy. And I had one intention, that the more I write, the more
I will learn.
retain it. So that's how I learned around 4,000 words in 3 months. In 3 months, I learned 4,000 words. So it was kind of achievement for me, because from that moment, from that time, I started everything. I started understanding everything in a very smooth manner. So it gave me the courage that now I can learn more, and I started getting appreciation from other person also, that my English was good, and I understood that I was only having limited amount of vocab. I need to increase it, but the kind of appreciation I was getting, it was really motivating. And then I made a schedule that I'll learn 50 words every day. So from 2008, and this is something that I'm honestly saying, that from the 2008 till now, till the date, every day I learn around 20 to 50 words. 20 to 50 words. Sometimes if I'm busy, then I'm only getting 20 words. But if I'm just having enough time, then I learn 50 words every day. I have my mobile, and I have made a picture that I have to learn 100 words every day. So this is the kind of push that I want to give to myself. But sometimes I find it difficult to learn 100 words, because that is really big deal. Because you know that we have to earn money, we have to do various jobs. So that's why it is not possible. But I always push myself to reach to the limit of 50 words, and that I'm doing. So it is almost, I can say that if you calculate the years, then it is almost 14 to 15 years. So from these 15 years, I have been learning 20 words every day. So if you calculate in numbers, then I guess it will cross more than lakhs. More than lakhs, yeah. And then I did one thing, that yes, I had the vocab, but there was one problem, that when I tried to speak English, I doubt that my pronunciation was not right. And I was really serious about it. So someone suggested me that you need to watch the Hollywood movies, so in English audio. So I started watching it, and I forgot the love for English, and I developed a new interest, and that was watching the Hollywood stories, Hollywood movies. And so I guess there was a time in my life, like for 2-3 years, I was living in village, and I was just I enrolled myself in BA. So you know the condition of BA, that students just enroll and then they have fun in their life. So that's what I was doing, that I enrolled myself in BA, and I was just playing cricket and all that stuff. But it was my usual habit that every day I was watching 2-3 movies in English audio. So I spent 2 years with this habit. So I guess I completed around 1700 Hollywood movies in English audio. So maybe I was not learning English, but because of this listening practice, my pronunciation skills start improving. And then I realized that now I'm using the words, and I'm using it in its correct form. But I knew how to speak English, I knew the good pronunciation, but suddenly I got the chance to address the gatherings from the stage. And that very moment, I saw that I am in a very miserable condition. My English was good, and I was confident about it. That moment I realized that communication skill is different from the language competency.
Yes.
Maybe you are able to speak Hindi properly, maybe you are able to speak English properly, but communication skill means that you identify various platforms, and you know that how to use this opportunity, how to present yourself. So it was the year 2012 when I realized that I need to work on my communication skill. So I started following the different trainers of communication, national or international. and I started following it, and I did so many things. Like I did tongue twister practice. Like if you go to the Google and search the English tongue twister, you may find
seashell, seashore, by the seashore.
Yeah, so you will find 100 or 200 tongue twisters. I have learned it all. I have learned it all, the tongue twister that is available on Google, and I was practicing it very hard because I knew one thing, that I have to improve my fluency, and I started practicing the tongue twister. Then I started using the opportunity. Whenever I got the chance, I knew that I was not ready for that platform, but every time I raised my hand, I went there and I did it horrible. Like if you're not ready for the various platform, and definitely if you hold the mic, then you'll do bad. But I was not thinking about the consequences. I knew that I will definitely do bad, but I was exposing myself for that platform. Even in the recent school where I have joined, sometimes I get the chance, and every time I raise my hand that I want to speak, because I know one thing, that if you want to be a good speaker, then you can do one thing, and that is you can expose yourself for those different platforms. Like if you get the chance to speak to the audience from the podium or dais, then you just need to push yourself. So now I realize that if you want to improve your communication skill, then you need to expose yourself and you need to push again and again, and that is the only way to improve your communication. So I myself completed BBA and MBA. So in those classes, communication skill is one thing that is required. Like if suppose that you are doing BBA and MBA and you don't have good communication skill, all that degree is waste. You need to have the good communication skill. So for 5 years continuously, I was pushing myself to improve my communication skill, and I was quite serious about it, because in my recent times, like old days, I practiced really hard how to improve the English. So now English was good, there was no problem of English, but yes, I was trying to learn the communication skill, and I used the opportunity. Like in my college, they organized different kind of program like group discussion, interview, and we had a separate subject also of communication, like business communication. So I studied the communication, and my love for communication was increasing. And that's how I invested so much money in the mics, camera, and so many things. I started my YouTube journey also. And now I feel that yes, I can speak confidently, but I feel that I'm a learner. I cannot declare that yes, I'm expert of this language. I'm a learner, and I know that I have long way to go. But I know one thing, that I can help so many students, like who are beginner or who want to prepare their communication skill only to crack the interview.
In English.
Yeah, sometimes you are able to speak English, sometimes your communication skill is good, but you don't know that what it takes to crack the interview in GD. Because if you are in an interview, then maybe you are there for certain vacancy, for certain post, and that's why you are supposed to answer certain question. But as a learner, as a beginner, you don't know that what are the questions that are expected from you. So I know that because I have completed my education in that particular thing. So I know that what range of questions can be asked to you. So that's why I know that I can help the students with cracking their GD interview. So this is my journey. And I hope that our conversation will be informative for you. And if our conversation is informative for you, then hit the subscribe button, like and share. See you in next conversation. Thank you.